countless people spend months cutting calories, following strict diets, and pushing themselves through exhausting workouts, yet the number on the scale barely moves. At first, it seems like a mystery. The common advice sounds simple: eat less, move more, stay consistent. But what if the real reason weight loss feels so difficult has nothing to do with a lack of effort? What if a hidden process inside your body is quietly working against you every single day? Right now, millions of people are focusing on calories while completely ignoring a powerful hormone that can influence hunger, cravings, fat storage, energy levels, and even the quality of sleep. That hormone is cortisol. Most people know cortisol as the stress hormone, but very few understand how deeply it can affect body weight. Even fewer realize that elevated cortisol can make healthy habits feel less effective, creating a frustrating cycle where more effort leads to fewer results. This is where the story becomes interesting, because the solution is not another extreme diet, a complicated workout plan, or a trendy supplement being promoted online. Researchers have spent years studying the connection between stress, hormones, and body weight, and the findings reveal a side of weight loss that many people never hear about. When cortisol remains elevated for long periods, the body begins to respond differently. Hunger signals can increase. Cravings for sugary and high-calorie foods can become stronger. Fat storage may become easier, especially around the abdominal area. Energy levels can start to decline. Sleep quality often gets worse. Then the cycle repeats itself again and again. The surprising part is that many people blame themselves when these changes happen. They think they lack discipline. They think they need more motivation. Yet the real issue may be happening beneath the surface, driven by biology rather than willpower. The modern world creates the perfect conditions for cortisol to stay elevated. Busy schedules, endless notifications, financial pressure, poor sleep habits, and constant mental stimulation can keep the body in a state of stress for far longer than it was designed to handle. Thousands of years ago, stress usually came in short bursts. A threat appeared, the body reacted, and then the stress ended. Today, stress often follows people from morning until night. The body responds the same way it always has, but the stress never fully disappears. As a result, cortisol can remain elevated far longer than it should. This hidden effect may be one of the biggest reasons why so many people struggle to lose weight despite making healthy choices. What makes this topic even more fascinating is that the number one cortisol trick is not what most people expect. Many assume the answer involves expensive products, complicated routines, or dramatic lifestyle changes. The truth is much simpler. In fact, it is something people do every day, yet many underestimate its impact. Scientists continue to uncover evidence showing that this one habit affects appetite, metabolism, recovery, hormone balance, and even decision-making around food. It is a powerful tool that costs nothing, requires no special equipment, and can influence weight loss in ways that surprise even health experts. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how cortisol affects the body and why it can make fat loss much harder than it needs to be. You will discover the hidden connection between stress and stubborn weight gain. You will learn why cravings often become stronger during stressful periods and why belly fat seems particularly linked to elevated cortisol levels. You will also uncover the number one cortisol lowering strategy that many people overlook, despite its ability to improve multiple aspects of health at the same time. Most importantly, you will see how a simple change can create a chain reaction that helps make healthy eating and weight loss feel more natural rather than like a constant battle. There is another reason to stay until the end. Many people focus on the obvious causes of weight gain while completely missing several lesser-known factors that silently raise cortisol levels throughout the day. Some of these triggers are so common that they have become part of everyday life. Yet understanding them could completely change the way you think about weight loss. Near the end of this video, we will also cover a few simple strategies that can help support healthy cortisol levels and improve overall well-being. These small changes may appear insignificant at first, but together they can have a powerful impact over time. The truth is that successful weight loss is not always about working harder. Sometimes it is about removing the obstacles that are making the journey more difficult. Cortisol is one of those obstacles. It operates behind the scenes, influencing choices, behaviors, and physical responses without drawing attention to itself. Once you understand how it works, many common weight loss struggles suddenly begin to make sense. The frustration, the cravings, the low energy, the stubborn fat that refuses to disappear. There is a reason these challenges happen, and today you are going to learn what that reason might be. So stay with us as we uncover the science of cortisol, reveal the #1 trick that can help bring it back under control, and explore why this often overlooked hormone may be standing between you and your weight loss goals. The information in this video could completely change the way you approach fat loss and help you focus on a factor that many people ignore until it is too late. If you enjoy learning simple, science-backed health strategies explained in a clear and practical way, then you are in the right place. Welcome to the channel. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest videos. And now, let's uncover the #1 cortisol trick that could make weight loss easier than ever before. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with weight loss is that they focus only on what they can see. They look at calories, workouts, meal plans, and body weight. But inside the body, another process may be influencing every one of those things without getting much attention. That process involves cortisol. To understand why cortisol matters, it helps to understand how the body responds to stress. The human brain is designed to keep us alive. Thousands of years ago, stress usually came from immediate physical dangers, a wild animal, a dangerous situation, a threat that required a fast response. When that happened, the body released stress hormones, including cortisol. Heart rate increased, energy became available, attention sharpened. The body prepared to survive. The problem is that the brain still uses many of the same systems today. It reacts to modern stress in a very similar way. The challenge is that modern stress rarely looks like a life-threatening emergency. Instead, it shows up as work pressure, financial worries, relationship problems, traffic, endless notifications, social media overload, and lack of sleep. To the body, however, stress is stress. It does not always make a clear distinction between a charging animal and an inbox filled with urgent emails. The response begins anyway. This is where cortisol enters the story. In small amounts and for short periods, cortisol is useful. It helps the body respond to challenges. It helps regulate energy. It helps maintain alertness. But when stress becomes constant, cortisol can remain elevated far longer than it should. Instead of turning on and then turning off, the stress response stays active, day after day, week after week, sometimes month after month. This creates a situation where the body starts behaving differently. Many people do not notice these changes at first. They simply feel more tired. They become hungrier. They crave certain foods more often. Their sleep quality declines. Their energy becomes less stable throughout the day. Over time, these small changes begin adding up. One of the most important effects of elevated cortisol is its influence on appetite. The body often interprets prolonged stress as a sign that resources may become scarce. As a result, hunger signals can increase. This response once helped humans survive difficult conditions. But in today's world, food is usually available at all times. Instead of helping survival, increased appetite can make healthy eating much more difficult. Suddenly, the snacks in the kitchen seem harder to resist. Late-night cravings become stronger. Portion sizes begin growing without much thought. Many people assume this happens because they lack discipline. In reality, biology may be pushing them toward food more aggressively than they realize. Another challenge involves sugar cravings. Stress and cortisol often create a stronger desire for quick sources of energy. Sugary foods and highly processed snacks provide fast energy, which is exactly what the stressed body believes it needs. This is one reason stressful days often end with cravings for desserts, chips, fast food, or comfort foods. The craving feels real because it is real. Hormonal signals are encouraging the body to seek quick fuel. This can create a frustrating cycle. Stress increases cravings. Cravings lead to unhealthy choices. Those choices may lead to weight gain. Weight gain creates more stress. Then the cycle starts all over again. Scientists have also observed a connection between elevated cortisol and fat storage, especially around the abdominal area. This is one of the lesser-known aspects of chronic stress. Many people notice that weight seems to accumulate around the waist during stressful periods of life. While many factors contribute to body fat distribution, cortisol appears to play a role in this process. The body enters a protective mode. It begins prioritizing survival rather than optimization. Fat storage becomes easier. Fat loss becomes more difficult. This does not mean cortisol is the only reason someone gains weight. Weight management is influenced by many factors, but elevated cortisol can make the entire process more challenging. Energy levels can also suffer. At first, stress may create a temporary feeling of alertness, but over time, chronic stress often leaves people feeling mentally and physically drained. This can reduce motivation to exercise. It can make healthy habits feel harder to maintain. A person who planned to go for a walk after work may decide to stay on the couch instead. A person who intended to prepare a healthy meal may choose something quick and convenient. These decisions are often blamed on laziness. Yet many times they are connected to stress-related fatigue that has been building for weeks. The sleep creates another major problem. High cortisol and poor sleep often feed each other in a vicious cycle. Stress makes it harder to sleep. Poor sleep increases stress hormones. Increased stress hormones make sleep worse. The cycle repeats night after night. Even when someone spends enough time in bed, the quality of sleep may suffer. They may wake up feeling unrefreshed. They may struggle to focus. Their hunger signals may become stronger throughout the day. This creates conditions that make weight loss feel much harder than it should. Many people respond to weight loss struggles by increasing effort. They cut more calories. They add more workouts. They push themselves harder. While dedication is important, there is a hidden problem with this approach. If stress levels are already elevated, adding even more pressure can sometimes make the situation worse. This leads directly into one of the biggest myths in modern weight loss. Many people believe they simply need a stronger fat burner, a stricter diet, or a more intense exercise routine. Marketing messages reinforce this belief every day. The idea sounds convincing. If progress is slow, the solution must be to work harder, eat less, exercise more, push further. Yet, this advice often ignores the role of stress and recovery. Consider what happens when someone follows an extremely restrictive diet. Hunger increases. Food becomes the center of attention. Energy often decreases. Stress may rise. Then consider what happens when that same person adds intense daily workouts while sleeping poorly. The body experiences even more pressure. Cortisol may remain elevated. Recovery becomes harder. Cravings become stronger. Progress slows. The person becomes frustrated. They blame themselves. They assume they need even more discipline. In reality, they may be fighting against their own biology. This is why weight loss is not always about adding more. Sometimes it is about removing obstacles. Sometimes it is about helping the body function the way it was designed to function. This idea surprises many people because it feels almost too simple. Society often celebrates extreme effort. the harder the plan sounds, the more effective it seems. Yet, some of the most powerful improvements come from supporting the body's natural systems rather than constantly challenging them. One of the clearest examples involves sleep. Sleep may be the most underrated tool in weight management. It rarely receives the same attention as diets or exercise programs, yet it influences nearly every process connected to fat loss. During healthy sleep, the body performs essential maintenance. Hormones become regulated. Recovery takes place. The nervous system gets a chance to reset. Stress hormones naturally decline. This is one reason sleep is so powerful. It addresses the root of the problem rather than simply treating the symptoms. Research has shown that poor sleep can increase hunger-related hormones while reducing signals associated with fullness. This means people often feel hungrier after insufficient sleep. They may consume more calories without realizing it. Food cravings become stronger. High-calorie foods become more appealing. Decision-making around nutrition becomes more difficult. The result is not a lack of willpower. It is a predictable biological response to inadequate rest. Even a single night of poor sleep can create noticeable effects. Energy levels decline. Mood becomes less stable. Cravings increase. Concentration suffers. Most people have experienced this without connecting it to weight loss. After a rough night of sleep, healthy choices often require more effort. Sugary snacks seem more tempting. Fast food becomes more attractive. Physical activity feels less appealing. These effects may seem small, but repeated over weeks and months, they can significantly influence body weight. This is why deep sleep stands out as the #1 cortisol trick. It works with the body's natural systems rather than against them. When sleep improves, cortisol often moves in the right direction. As cortisol decreases, appetite may become easier to manage. Cravings may become less intense. Energy levels may improve. Recovery from exercise becomes more effective. Healthy choices begin feeling easier instead of harder. Many people search for complicated solutions while ignoring this foundation. They invest time and money into supplements while sleeping 5 or 6 hours each night. They look for secret fat loss methods while staying awake late scrolling through their phones. They focus on advanced strategies before mastering the basics. Yet sleep influences nearly everything that comes after it. Improving sleep does not require perfection. Small changes can produce meaningful results. One of the most effective strategies is maintaining a consistent sleep schedule. The body operates according to internal rhythms. Going to bed and waking up at roughly the same times each day helps regulate those rhythms. Over time, falling asleep becomes easier and sleep quality often improves. Reducing screen exposure before bed can also make a difference. Bright screens stimulate the brain and may interfere with the natural signals that prepare the body for sleep. Many people spend their final hour of the day scrolling through news, social media, messages, and videos. The brain remains active when it should be winding down. Creating some distance from screens before bedtime can help support better rest. The sleep environment matters as well. A cool, dark, and quiet room helps the body transition into deeper sleep. Even small improvements in the sleeping environment can have noticeable effects on sleep quality. Darkness signals the body that it is time to rest. Cooler temperatures often promote more comfortable sleep. Reduced noise minimizes disruptions throughout the night. Caffeine deserves attention too. Many people consume caffeine throughout the afternoon and evening without realizing its effects may linger for hours. Even when someone falls asleep successfully, caffeine can still reduce sleep quality. Limiting caffeine later in the day may help improve both sleep duration and recovery. If there is one lesson worth remembering from all of this, it is that improving sleep is often one of the fastest ways to support healthier cortisol levels. It is not glamorous. It does not come in a bottle. It is not promoted nor as aggressively as expensive weight loss products, yet its impact can be remarkable. What makes this approach especially powerful is the chain reaction that follows. Better sleep often leads to lower cortisol. Lower cortisol can reduce excessive hunger signals. Reduced hunger makes healthy food choices easier. Better food choices support energy stability. Improved energy encourages more physical activity. Increased activity supports weight loss. The process begins to work with you instead of against you. This is not a magic trick. It does not bypass biology. It works because it respects biology. The body performs best when its fundamental needs are met. Sleep is one of those needs. When sleep improves, countless systems begin functioning more effectively. The benefits extend beyond weight loss. Mood often improves. Focus becomes sharper. Recovery becomes faster. Daily stress may feel easier to manage. Of course, sleep is not the only factor that influences cortisol. Several additional habits can help support healthier stress levels throughout the day. Walking outdoors is one of the simplest examples. A short walk may appear insignificant, yet it provides movement, exposure to natural light, and a break from constant stimulation. These effects can help the body relax and reset. Deep breathing exercises can also be useful. Slow breathing sends signals that encourage the nervous system to shift away from a stress response. Even a few minutes of controlled breathing can create noticeable changes in how a person feels. Strength training deserves mention as well. Exercise is beneficial, but balance matters. Moderate strength training can improve overall health, support muscle maintenance, and contribute to weight management. The goal is not to push the body into constant exhaustion. The goal is to challenge the body while still allowing adequate recovery. Time away from screens may be more important than many people realize. Modern technology keeps attention engaged almost continuously. Notifications, messages, videos, and endless streams of information can create a low-level form of stress that follows people throughout the day. Taking intentional breaks from screens allows the mind to slow down and recover. Relaxation routines can provide additional support. Reading a book, stretching, listening to calming music, spending time in nature, or engaging in quiet hobbies may all help reduce stress levels. These activities are often viewed as optional luxuries. In reality, they may play an important role in supporting long-term health and recovery. Each of these habits can contribute to healthier cortisol levels, but they work best when built on a foundation of quality sleep. Sleep remains the central piece because it influences so many other factors at the same time. When sleep improves, everything else often becomes easier to maintain. Healthy eating becomes less difficult. Exercise feels more manageable. Energy becomes more stable. Cravings become less overwhelming. Stress becomes easier to handle. And that is where the real transformation begins to take shape. After hearing all of this, one thing becomes clear. Weight loss is not always a battle against food. It is not always about finding the perfect diet or pushing yourself through harder workouts. Sometimes the real challenge is happening behind the scenes. Sometimes your body is responding to stress in ways you never realized. When cortisol stays elevated for too long, it can increase hunger, trigger cravings, reduce energy, disrupt sleep, and make fat loss feel much harder than it should. That is why focusing only on calories while ignoring stress and recovery can leave many people feeling frustrated and stuck. The good news is that your body is not working against you forever. It is simply responding to the signals it receives every day. When you improve those signals, things can start to change. Better sleep can help lower cortisol. Lower cortisol can help reduce cravings. Fewer cravings can make healthy eating easier. Better energy can help you move more. And all of those small improvements can begin working together to support your weight loss goals. This is not about finding a shortcut. It is about removing a hidden obstacle that may have been slowing your progress all along. So before you spend money on another supplement, before you jump into another extreme diet, and before you force yourself into an exhausting workout routine, take a closer look at your sleep. Ask yourself a simple question. Are you giving your body the recovery it needs? Because the missing piece in your weight loss journey may not be what you eat or how much you exercise. It may be what happens while you sleep. And here's a challenge for you tonight. Try improving just one sleep habit. Go to bed a little earlier. Put your phone away before bedtime. Make your room darker and cooler. Then pay attention to how you feel over the next few days. You might be surprised by the difference. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more simple, science-backed health and weight loss tips that can help you achieve better results naturally. Don't forget to hit the like button because it helps this video reach more people who may be struggling with the same problem. And if you know someone who is working hard to lose weight but not seeing results, share this video with them. It could be the information they have been missing. Before you go, let us know in the comments, how many hours of sleep did you get last night? We read every comment, and your answer might help inspire someone else to improve their sleep and health. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself, get some quality rest tonight, and we'll see you in the next video.